What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the How to Launch a Brand New Band series that I'm collaborating on with Matt Bacon of Dropout Media. In this video, we're talking all about how to generate awareness for your band. So you've set everything up, you've got all your assets, right? You've got somewhat of a release strategy, you've invited all your friends to your Facebook page, and everything is humming along, you're posting frequently and consistently. How do we get to that next level of awareness? So in this video, I'm mainly going to be focusing on awareness for an up-and-coming release. So if you watch the first videos in this series, you will know that you should not launch your social media pages until you have music for people to listen to, or at least a release coming out in the very near future. So the first way of generating more awareness for your band, your release, and growing your social media channels is to do PR. Now, a lot of bands get confused about PR primarily because they're not really sure what PR is. So I'll quickly explain it. In a nutshell, PR is the act of getting press, so radio play, media features, for your band. I recommend doing PR for every single release. It really is the most professional way to release music. It's going to get you the most bang for your buck with your music, but you most certainly do not have to hire a professional PR agency. In fact, what I recommend is that bands DIY their PR to begin with, so maybe your first couple of singles, and then once you have a really good foundation of press traction for your band, you have established relationships with some of the outlets, then you can graduate to investing in a professional PR agency who can use that foundation to springboard off and get more bang for your buck when it comes to paying that little bit extra for someone to professionally do it. Now, I love PR for 3 reasons. In fact, actually 4 reasons. I'm going to throw in a bonus 4th. So the first reason is it generates awareness for your release. So it basically tells more people that you've got brand new music out. The second reason is it generates awareness for your band as a whole. It gets your band more exposure by way of exposing your band to the audience of that particular media outlet or the listeners of that radio station. The third reason, and probably the most important reason, is it gives your band credibility. The difference between your average band playing at the local venue around the corner and a band that's looking like they're growing, they're generating a buzz, is often press traction. You can tell people how good you are until you're blue in the face, but the fact of the matter is when you have industry experts and people that, review bands for a living and are really on top of all the new releases, all the up-and-comers, when they say that your music is good, that's just going to have a whole lot more weighting to it. So this credibility aspect is really, really important in getting your band to the next level and having success as quick as possible after you launch. And the fourth reason, which is the bonus reason, is a very Monica reason, is PR gives you a whole lot more social media content to post about. So when you run a PR campaign, you will have reviews coming through, you'll have media features, you'll have interviews, you'll have radio to plug, you'll have all this stuff coming through. In fact, for myself and for my clients, often there is too much to post about on social media coming through because I do recommend only posting 1 to 2 times a day on Facebook, for example. Doing a PR campaign gives you so much social media to post about, and that is really a bonus of running a PR campaign. Now, as I said before, if you're first starting out, I highly recommend you DIY your first couple of PR campaigns. So I'm mainly thinking about singles here. So your first 1 to 2, maybe even 3 singles, you DIY your PR. And the reason for that is, number 1, it's going to save you money. Number 2, that is going to really bode well because PR is really a cumulative effect. And so you're going to have to do multiple PR campaigns in order to start getting more and more traction for your band. So that's why it's wise to DIY your PR campaign at the start, get that nice baseline of traction happening, and then when it comes time to investing in a PR company, they've got something to already springboard off. PR companies cannot make media feature you. They cannot force outlets to publish anything on you. That's just not how it works. Obviously, they do have established relationships, but at the end of the day, it is the media outlet's choice whether they want to feature your band or not. Doing your own PR campaign is really going to teach you a lot about the industry, and it's going to establish more personal relationships, especially with smaller media outlets, because you'll find that they're going to support you for years and years down the track. So if you do want to DIY your band's PR campaign, I have a PR course called PR Made Simple, and if you use the code SHRED at checkout, then you can actually get 20% off. That course is going to teach you how to time your PR campaign, how to find contacts, how to reach out effectively, how to write an effective press release, how to follow up effectively, and how to support your PR campaign with social media. I also talk about streaming and radio in that course as well. So I highly recommend you learn the skills to do it properly if you are going the DIY route, because, you know, from my 7-year background working in media, there are a lot of bands trying to get press the wrong way. So I want you guys to know the right way of how to reach out. Plus, DIYing, as I said, it's going to save you money. This information is stuff that you're going to recycle and reuse for the years to come. As I said, I'll leave the link to PR Made Simple down below. So you have your PR campaign running. What next? Now you are going to have to put some money away for Facebook ads. Once the release has gone live, having an ad behind the video, whether that be a small snip of the video or whether that be the full video that you've uploaded to Facebook, or you can even do a YouTube ad. As I said, you're really going to make sure that you have money for advertising, especially when it comes to new releases, because the fact of the matter is you can spend all the money that you want on your releases, your video clips, but if you're not ensuring that people are actually going to hear that new release, then there really is no point. And I'm going to demonstrate this further. If you can imagine a funnel, actually, a funnel is a little bit boring, so I'm going to illustrate with this Jack Daniel's bottle. And the reason why I'm demonstrating this is the #1 complaint I see bands making when they're trying to grow their social media is they seem to have hit a plateau. You know, they get all their friends, all their family, all their network to like their page, but the page just doesn't seem to grow, and I'm going to demonstrate why. So if you can imagine, this is a funnel and the top is open. It's not open, it's closed, but in here, in the top of this funnel, you have coming in all your friends, all your family, all your network, and this is for all of your band members is going into the top of this funnel. As we move down, you can see that the funnel gets gradually smaller, and that's because naturally there are people that are going to, you know, spill out of the funnel along the way. So of course you're going to invite everyone that you know to like your band on Facebook, but not everyone is actually going to see that notification or bother to press the like button. So we're going to lose some people here. Then as we go down, as we know, the social media algorithms are only going to show your band's posts to 2 to 10% of your audience. So then we have an even smaller percentage who are actually seeing your band's posts. As we go down again, of the people that actually see your band's posts, only a small amount of people are actually going to care, for lack of a better term. A small amount of people are actually going to go to your shows, buy your merch, and we're left with a really, really small droplet of fans left at the end. So what happens is bands are only relying on their friends, family, and network to come in the top of the funnel, and they're not casting their net wide enough. Now, doing ads and doing PR are two ways that you can cast that net wider and get more people into the top of this funnel. And the more people that go into the top of the funnel, then the more people are going to end up in this droplet here. It's going to be more like a shot, and it's going to be just a whole lot more satisfying for your band. So I hope that this demonstrates why PR and doing Facebook ads and any sort of advertising is so important. And the sooner you can get these aspects right, the faster your band can grow. If you do like this series and you want more from me, then definitely come follow me on social media. I'm at Monica Strut everywhere. But I also have a podcast. It's called the Being in a Band podcast. So a brand new episode airs every single week, all about music, marketing, business, and mindset for up and coming bands. Particularly if you're in a rock and metal band, then you're going to love this podcast. Thank you guys for watching the series. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I'll speak to you guys next time.